If we got episode 7 only Crons, all right, we got a full house tonight. Of course we would, because it's a new meta, new Necrons. Geez, do we have a lot to talk about? And I think Steven, not Steven Ross, because I don't know who's going to be Steven number 1, Steven number 2, but we got
You can call me
Rhoda.
Wigan if you'd like.
We got Steven Rhoda in the house tonight in the bottom right hand corner. And how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Fresh off of Dallas.
I see that you're teasing us with this Necron collection in the back, man. I see what you're doing there. That little accent piece. You know,
yeah,
I like
my
it.
Tomb World.
I like it, man. Well, dude, glad you're joining us tonight. And of course, we got Euless in the house. We got Steven, myself. Boy, man, we are excited. This is, I mean, we're gonna have like a little structure tonight, but honestly, it's just gonna be, I don't want to say like a free for all, but you know, just kind of an open forum, answering chat, answering questions. Yeah, I mean, how are we all doing? How we all doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
My list went up 30 points, so.
Yeah. I mean,
pour one out for the Scorplords, man.
Most of our list went down.
We knew it was coming, and I'm still sad about it.
Yeah.
Dude,
take solace in the fact that if your list went up in points, you were playing the most efficient lists.
I was playing broken shit.
I feel like we got to start with Steven, fresh off of Dallas, Canoptek Court. Dude, walk us through it, man. What was your experience like? What were your tough matchups like? How did it go?
It went fine. My toughest matchup was really the Orc detachment. I don't even know which one it was, but it was the one with the orders on it. That one was
tactical.
That was just brutal for me. The amount of fire they put out, and then the stealth.
They got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, they needed it because it hurt. I put 600 points into a truck though, and it didn't die, so that was bad.
There we go. There's the conversation about Canoptek not doing enough damage.
That was what I was saying. They don't do damage.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it's just a skewy list. It just depends on what your Doomstalkers roll right now. If you roll a 1, you're in a fantastic position. Just kidding. I command point rerolled a 1 into a 1, and then proceeded to roll a 1 into a 1 on my Nightbringer shots, and it went terribly wrong from that point forward. But other than that, I played one game, the Ritual, on terrain layout 8, I think it was, whichever one has the big 6x12 on the side of the map that you can just hide behind. Whole game took 1 hour and 15 minutes. 200 points died, and the score was 87-84. I ended up losing on secondary missions.
That sounds. Yeah, I think that's table 7. But yeah, we all know what it is. Yeah. The stepping stone. They changed it a little bit? They changed it a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they did in the mission pack.
It is better, yeah. And Ritual is not in the tournament pack anymore, which is great. Like, thank you. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I think all the missions in the tournament pack are great. Maybe outside of like supply drop, and Purge. But Purge, it's fine.
Purge you can like for RTT tomorrow.
Purge you can like play around.
You can.
I'm coming around to Purge. It's like one of those things that I think I prefer having it in like a tournament than not, because it makes for a mission that's like different than others. So it's not just like, okay, always spam all MSU. Like it does like find like it would be like the only mission that punishes that. So yeah, I think I do kind of like that for it.
1000%. I think the changes to Terraform with having to do actions on objectives, it kind of balances out where like that favors more of like an MSU style list versus like Purge favors, more of a not MSU style list. So having both of those missions in a potentially like a super major or GT to kind of like balance it out, I think makes it a little more interesting. And then you have like the general Lich Pin, Take It Hold, and hidden supplies, which is cool. So
I know like at WCW for Terraform, I basically did the stare down of my opponent on turn 1. I like walk out onto the center objective with my Wraith unit, and I'm like, I'm gonna terraform the middle. Or no, can you terraform turn 1? Or is it turn 2?
You can.
Yeah, you can't terraform turn one,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's burn that you can't turn one.
Yeah.
And so I did it turn one, and then like he's like, no, I'm not taking the bait because I have like I took 3 like Doomsdays to Worlds because I was like, I didn't want to paint a unit. Like I was like, another Doomsdays going in the list. So he's like, no, I'm not gonna fight you over it because he was Vanguard, Space Marines. So he's like, I can't drop my Centurions down yet, so I'm not. And then like the next turn, I go over to my side objective and I'm like, I'm gonna terraform this now. And it's like, what are you gonna do? And then like right after he like finishes his shooting phase and he's like, and he like ignored the race again, he's like, pretty sure I just lost the game by like not stopping you from doing that. And yeah, I just proceeded to farm points the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So like I know when I was like at like LVO against Jack too, he came out to terraform right away, and that was like part of like where the game, like he pressured me and I overextended to like stop him from doing it, because it was just so wildly powerful to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna terraform.
They're so good at terraforming too.
Yeah.
Their ability and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like, I think it's good to be interactive, and like then if you just hold it, which you're kind of wanting to do anyway, like the assumption is that you still hold it anyway, so it like at least gives you like interaction, and you don't have to be like, I guess I gotta like throw something over there real fast to stop this from happening because otherwise he's gonna score at least 10
maybe
points.
the Wraith triple catacomb command barge is in play now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Let's not put these lists out in the universe, man.
Please tell me you guys went and looked at my list that I put into the chat.
I haven't yet.
No, let
Oh my
me
We're
Called
too busy.
Canoptek Curtain.
I was talking about the curtain.
I love it. I freaking love it. Hey, while we're looking at this list, so Ulyss, man, I don't know if you're reading the chat, but you know, people are talking about these double Doom Scythes right now, man. So
Dude,
what's your hot take?
You know, we're seeing them pop up a little bit. A couple of people had some success, so you know, I definitely wouldn't be the first one to have some success with them. So shout out to those guys. But it's just, I think they're interesting. They're interesting for a couple reasons. For one, I just, you know, the ability to just the true line of sight. You know, like I said, I played a few practice games with it so far, and it's one of those things that your opponent just can't hide everything, right? And it kind of, especially in hyper, it makes me feel like I'm back to having my 3-inch deep strike, because it's like there's something that you're not going to be able to hide, and I'm going to find a spot to be able to come in and take out an asset that you're not ready to lose. I think that's the biggest part, right? Because like if you stop your opponent from being able to play to their game plan, it really hurts. So like in Death Guard, I was able to take out like 2 of the bloat drones that he thought were pretty safe. And that was pretty huge. So like it's changed the way he played the game for the rest of the game, you know? So I took out 2 blow drones and then a handful of other stuff on my boom turn. And it hurt him pretty big. So I think it's interesting. I'm not at the point where I'm like, this is definitely the way to go, but I'm liking it a little bit more over the double monolith, I think. I think there's going to be some other opponents. There are going to be some opponents that are going to probably punish it a little bit harder than the double monolith build. But there's also a thing to be said too about that. We have a lot of close combat armies that they have 1 or 2 ways to get rid of a flyer. But if you can kill those things, then you can kind of have free reign of the board. You know, like World Eaters, for instance, you take care of the Forge Fiends. You know, you still might because especially when you see people not bringing the Angron anymore. You're just potentially seeing a lot of ground units that won't be able to interact with the flyers. And, you know, you put those in front of your Silent King or your other, you know, brick of stuff that's coming down to shoot. You know, we'll see if the Warriors still continue to make the cut. I may just really just double down into, especially with the new missions, just really, really double down hard into whatever I think I can do to table my opponent, is, you know, make that boom turn as scary as possible. But I think it's an interesting play, man. And, you know, the other thing too, and the Doom Scythe almost killed a DG Terminator 3-man on Overwatch, and it's the math's not too crazy to that. Like, you know, if you get 1-6 on average, you got 3 hits that are, you know, wounding on 2s, rolling 1s with Silent King. So it's not that crazy to have, you know, force 3 or 4 saves with a D6 plus 1 damage, you know, kind of situation. And then the Tesla guns too. You know, every 6 is 3 hits there. So I think the math is a 50% hit rate in Overwatch, not counting the reroll ones. So it's even better with that. So yeah, it's like I said, it's interesting. I'm gonna keep kind of feeling it out. I got an RTT tomorrow that I'm gonna go do a little test with it and maybe take some pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a list that's worth. And again, it's another list that also with hyper. One thing I've been, with the hyper experience that I've had, you're often giving up a little bit of points early on, and with the new challenger cards, that might not be a bad thing. So it might play to our favor to potentially play an army that's designed to play heavy late game, just by killing your opponent late. So it just becomes a little bit easier now with some of those combos. So
are they playing new mission pack tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're gonna play a new mission pack. We're gonna do everything. Basically, the TO is just like, if we get enough cards in, and he's like, I think we're gonna be good to go. I mean, it's gonna be kind of a little bit more of a relaxed environment. So if we have like newer players that don't want to do it, he'll probably allow them to just play however. But our RTTs, the first game is kind of a little bit of everybody, a little mixed bag, but then like we have a very there's a real true dichotomy in like one set of players from the other set of players in our local meta. We have a group of guys that are very competitive that travel a lot, and then we have another group that are a little bit newer. So it splits up very quickly. So
I feel like it's the same up here. Like having access to the local clubhouse here, like in Portland. Like some extremely like high caliber Team USA players, and then some players that are just welcoming coming in. But they've created this clubhouse that's like so welcoming to like new players and showing them like, hey, competitive doesn't have to be like super sweaty or like stuff like that. And and it's so cool with the RTTs too, because it's a lot of times battle ready and stuff. We're like, dude, we're just practicing. Like, take your points, so we don't care. It's like
someone forgot something one time, and we said, hey, just grab a crate, and that's now it for the rest of the tournament. And it was hilarious. We had a blast with it. I feel like that's what RTTs should be, right? Like they're about trying new things, experimenting, and then also newer player. Like I always recommend newer players like jump into an RTT. Like even if you don't think you're quite ready yet, if you got 2,000 points, jump into it. It's generally going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully
best thing you can do is get reps for sure.
Yeah,
like
so.
The other thing
I'm excited for the double Doom Scythe. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I need to jump in on the Doom Scythe, because if you take a Silent King and you put him down, right?
Yeah.
And then you take 2 Doom Scythes in front of the Silent King.
Yeah.
That Trigon that just burrowed 6 inches away can't charge him.
No, it's
because he can't in there. It's like an 11-inch charge.
It's very difficult. I mean, I played it with
he can't charge. He can't charge the two Doom Scythes, and he can't charge the king behind him because he can't make it.
Like I said, I played it into the death card, and it really made it difficult for where the termies wanted to come in.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. Like that'll be addressed, but that's how it works. So
yeah.
I will say, like, the Doom Scythe, by the way, we're not knocking Tyranids. I think that detachment is so freaking cool.
Yeah, one of my buddies going to bring it tomorrow. I might get a rep into it. I'm hoping I do.
I'm very curious to see how that goes, because I feel like the Doom Scythe could really, not for what Steven's talking about, but the main synergy with the Raveners going up and down, and if he's not able to hide those Raveners very well, and the Doom Scythe just pick him up, it kind of just completely... nukes.
Well, it has to be the Trigons and Molochs are the only ones with Burrower, right?
No, the Raveners in the new data sheet, they have I believe they gave them the Burrower keyword.
Oh, so I thought they didn't have it. I like, at least the thing that I was looking at, they didn't have it, but maybe it was like a pre-recorded thing.
Yeah,
I think it was the Art of War review of it.
I know one of my buddies, he ran the triple Doom Scythe at the team event, got to play Seagler, Corey. I think I like the idea of the double. I think the triple, maybe he's leaning too heavy into it. For me personally, I mean, it definitely does what you wanted to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did really well. Like he spoke just about everybody, minus Siegler's other Necrons. But no, it's and like don't underestimate like the Tesla gun too. It's like strength 8, 2 damage Tesla. But it's also twin linked, so it's like you're hitting really efficiently, and then twin linked, but strength 8, like you're going to be wounding pretty decent. And there's a lot of stuff out there that doesn't have a great save, so like it's nice to have some of those guns too that are just going to be really good into. Oh, you got a regular save of 4-up, like it's gonna suck to be you. You know?
I don't want you to be able to see my like reanimator. It'll completely change where I have to put that little guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to take a like a freaking.
Well, I mean, think about that too.
Kid into my
Think about
reanimator
how difficult that would be to hide a Doom. Like some of those lists that rely on hiding a support piece.
Just
it's like cool. You know that little tiny window that I'm looking. Especially a lot of the terrain pieces these days. I mean, they're not solid pieces. So, like that window on the second floor, unless you're playing like WTC style or something like that. That window on the second floor might be what I can see a sliver of paint through. And as gamey as it might feel like a little bit, but that's the game we play. I know I've done that with, and that's the thing too. Like you still have the Monolith that if he can just touch a tiny little bit of the base, he sees through the base too. So now you have 2 Doom Scythes and a Monolith that can all see stuff, hitting with similar profiles on the big gun, and then a little bit different profiles on the small medium gun, although kind of similar. But yeah, it's a little bit interesting. The only thing I like the Monolith a little bit over is the fact that the big guns are 4 independent guns, so you can kind of split fire. It's the only thing I think sucks a little bit with the Doom Scythes is you kind of have to focus down one, so you might get one of those cases where it's like, cool, I did 24 damage, I only needed to do 6, but yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
That still feels good. Like,
oh yeah, when you feel overkill,
yeah, and stay down, dude.
But it's the sustain D2 is just underrated, especially when you have Silent King rerolling ones. It's just like it happens a lot more often that way with the reroll ones. Like I learned that with the Monoliths. I'm like the Monoliths don't feel the same without a Silent King nearby. So it's like I probably won't run them without the reroll ones.
Yeah,
I mean, even versus Death Guard, I don't usually take the ignore mods. I still take the reroll ones just because of how good it is for that scenario. But
makes sense.
Yeah, that is a reason to take Shatter.
Steven's Steven's Canoptek Court, aka Canoptek Curtain. All right. Interesting list, man. Interesting list. All right. What are your thoughts here? What are your thoughts here with this?
Me, I'm just gonna overload this. I'm just gonna overload everybody. Simply
so we got double barge, Catacomb Command Barge.
Which you can use on the same unit.
We got a hex mark. We got double Technomancer, one with the infiltrate enhancement, one with the what is that other enhancement?
I think I have all 3 on there, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, 3 enhancements. Yeah, 3 Technos. So 18 race, 2 death marks, 1 flayed one, 2 Scarabs, 1 Reanimator, 2 Doomstalkers, barges. Okay. I like
the only thing I'm scared of right now is Ulyss's 2 Night Scythes finding my Reanimator.
Yeah. The poor little guy. Like leave
he's
little Reanimator.
Now, granted, if I sack 460 points to kill your 75-point model, it's not gonna be a great return for me. But yeah.
But it'll hurt me.
Yeah.
Emotionally. So I don't want that bad.
Yeah.
Now if I bring the Vault and can snipe out the Technomancer on top of the Reanimator, now that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a world where you drop the Warriors and you bring a Vault, and now you're just playing Necron Knights.
literally.
Monolith, a Vault, and a couple Doom Scythes and Silent Kings.
Steven, when is your next tournament?
Me or Ross?
You, because I want to see this list.
I'm TOing tomorrow at a tournament. So
well, it's good you're TO.
We
need TOs.
Playing TO.
Yeah. So weird news is our store just opened up, and I am currently in the process of trying to get a WCW ticket for my next GT. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Dude, that'd be super cool, man.
Super pumped.
Heck yeah.
Well, I'm excited to try it. I think that overloading people with the 4-up invulns, 4 wounds, 5-up feel no pains. I can reanimate up to D6 twice plus D3 in a movement phase. It's wild. I just think that it's just too tough for a lot of these armies to get through. And I'm infiltrating right in your face turn 1. Like I'm just gonna try it, see how it works, and you know, rely. I mean, just like Necrons kind of do in general, you're kind of skewy in your damage. You're kind of skewy in a lot of things. All of our damage is D6 plus X. All of our shots for our big cannons are D6 plus X. It's, you know, so I'm gonna rely on my dice and kick some butt.
So I have a question for the chat. You have 55 points to spam 2 or 3 different. Basically, the question is Locust Heavy Destroyers or Plasmancers. Now that they're exactly the same amount of points, and just I know before Ross brings up the assassination problem. So just discount the assassination. If your whole goal is just like I want to kill my opponent, especially in like Canoptek Court, like, and maybe that's a question for you, Rhoda. Like the idea of for 165 points, right? You just bring 3 random Plasmancers. And for 165 points, you're like, cool, drop. Here's 6 mortal wounds, and here's 9 shots of strength 7, AP 3, 2 damage that are also, you know, re-rolling hits because they're cryptics. It's interesting, right? Like I think
and if they kill them, you get +1 to hit and wound the rest of the game against that unit.
Yeah, exactly, right. If they kill the solo Plasmancer, which they're going to do, you're like, cool. That unit now has +1 to hit and wound the rest of the game.
They do have control over what kills him, though, because those guys fall over.
I know they fall over super easy. I understand that, but I mean, 6 mortals from just 18 inches. And another thing, I mean, that's also mortals that can go into things that are tied up in combat. You know, it gets around some of the other stuff too. So I don't know, man. I'm just thinking there's a world where I'm like, am I gonna be that guy that just drops 3 random solo Plasmancers down and says, "Here's 6 mortal wounds," that just pick something up?
At Adepticon 2 years ago, they were by far the backbone of my 18 Wraith list.
Yeah.
And the only reason I really I went down, it was like round 6. So I was in the top cut in round 6, and the only reason I wasn't able to close that game out was because my Plasmancers failed. I think it was 15 out of 16 4-ups.
Yeah,
and I needed literally 1 more damage to have taken out it was like a dog or something that would have flipped an objective, and then I lost by 2 points because Adepticon has crazy time, so we couldn't start the last round. Otherwise, I don't lose on points.
But you're just as likely to roll the opposite way, where you roll 12 out of 14.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it happens both directions.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that they let me down. I'm saying that the reason I was there was them. The reason I was even in that situation was because they put me on their back and they carried me out of so many combats where I was like, oh, my Wraiths have 2 little idiots left with them. Throw all of these grenades at them until they're out of combat.
The plasma. The one thing I will say is the amount of times when something is left on just a couple wounds. And I don't want to have to dedicate a whole another firing series, another whole firing activation, to just getting rid of that 1 or 2 wounds. You know, it's like Magnus is alive with a 1 or 2 wounds, something like a Dorn, that's already got smoke or something like that. It's those little things where it's just cool. I'll just go ahead and pull that off now. I don't know. They're it's something I'm going to really tease with. I mean, whether or not now the other thing too is maybe you just throw 5 Tesla Immortals in there, and then now you're also re-rolling wounds if they're on the objective too. You know, maybe that's just a really good efficient unit. What's the point cost on 5 Immortals?
It'd be 125.
125.
Yeah, it's 70. 125 with both.
Oh yeah,
it's you know, it's now that strength 7, AP 3, 2 damage, and then if there's a Luminor by it, it's now AP 4. So strength 7, AP 4, we're rolling wounds. And if you're in Canoptek, you're rerolling hits and wounds. I don't know. It starts to sound kind of interesting. You know?
When you tell people his profile, they're like, okay, take 2 saves and the AP4, and they're like, what? Every time they're like, what? And you're like, bro.
Yeah, this little bullcat guy. Yeah, I catches people off. The amount of times that he's finished off a Vindicator for me with the AP4 because my opponent's just like, okay. You know,
I guess I'll die.
I'm like, do you want an AOC versus this one dude? No, okay.
I feel like that question with the 55 points left, I think it does depend on the detachment, I think, but I would personally just take a LHD over the Cyclomancer. One, because of Assassinate, but also two, at least like with my Star Shatter list, like going over like deployments and stuff, there's some layouts where I can have that LHD Emitic in reserve. Steve and I actually were just talking about this, where the King's Indirect, usually it takes 2 turns to kill like a cheap resource, but a lot of times you can drop that Emitic in as like an aggressive piece and then use it as like shoot something like squishy on an objective you're playing against GSC, Eldar, something else. And then if you don't kill it, the backup plan is indirect from the King, and then you take the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also don't hate like the LH, like the solo LHDs. I really don't like too. I don't hate the fact that like even if they're not good into your particular matchup, like because you went one choice or the other, whether you went with the EE or the Goss, like it's 55 points for an action monkey isn't horrible. Like it's not.
And they're tough.
No.
Like they're just.
I mean,
it's only enough with 4 wounds.
It's only 15 points more than a Locust Destroyer now. So which we can talk about. The one thing that I don't think any of us kind of saw.
Dude, it makes the breakpoints in Awaken so annoying. It's
Dude,
so annoying.
70 points is the worst now. Before I used to be like, sweet,
annoying.
2 Locust Destroyers, loving life. And now it's like, what do I change?
Like every combo I try, I'm like, I'm 5 points over. I'm 5 points over.
Well, because everything in our list is built around 75 points. So like the go from the 70 to 80, now you're over that 75 point break, and you're just like, oh, I'm 5 points over now.
And if I'm trying to find like I was like, oh, like I did this at least, it has to be at least 25 times. Where I was like, oh, I'll just drop an enhancement so I have 10 more points and throw a Scorpec Lord in there. Not anymore. I have done it no fewer than 25 times in my list. And been like, why does it say they're over now? I was like, what just happened? And then I'm like, oh yeah. Like, and I'm like scrolling through, and I have to remember that he went up 10 points. I'm like, damn it.
Damn it. Flock in the chat has a good question. He's actually a fellow teammate of mine. Plays Necrons, I think Sisters now as well. But he was just curious opinion on the +1 to hit enhancement in Awaken, dropping the King, looking at doing max 2 DDAs, and then 5 Gauze LHDs. I mean, I think it's worth it. I've been playtesting it. I mean, I think you gotta run that +1 to hit right now in Awaken. It's so good.
I before Star Shatter came out, I know we were talking about it, like, you know, on the back end, and I was like, I really kind of want to run this, and I wish I had run it sooner, because it's kind of like having the best part of Star Shatter, which is the +1 to hit, in my opinion, because you can still assault if you need to, which, you know, I'll usually do like, you know, once or twice a game maybe. And just the threat of being able to do it with the Doomsday Arc. The threat of being able to do it with the Doomsday Arc that hits on 2s is like a different sort of threat to your opponent. Yeah. And it felt like a lot of my opponents weren't able to like understand that. That I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna rip you for like, no matter where you are. Like they're like, oh, what if I like, you know, am off an objective? I was like, doesn't matter. I shoot you on 2s. I reroll 1s. You die. Like if I don't roll a 1 on shots, you're dead. Like.
Yep.
And
especially strength 18, you're like worst case you're winning on 3s, but a lot of times you're even winning on 2s. You know?
We were talking about before too that like if I just took my same exact list, which is now 30 points over, it's like, do I cut the +1 to hit, or do I cut the 30 point for a Feel No Pain? And I'm like, I'm not sure. I think it might actually be the Feel No Pain, but I still really like having the King also in that list, because he's also just big and thick. He's like surprisingly good in Awakened, because you can reanimate him off of his like losing a minion. And I think I can't stress enough how valuable that is. Like, it's great.
It means, honestly, it means a lot of times when you'd otherwise lose both minions, you now have one, and there's a decent chance you get the second one back.
Yep. Yeah, and you're like back at full too, or you can like if you lose your second mini here loses like 3 wounds or something, and you're next to a reanimator, you pop that guy, you have like your one reanimator wound back, and they're gonna shoot you with like a whole bunch of heavy bolters and try and get that 1 wound off, and you're just sitting there. You just gotta not roll any 1s, man. You gotta make all those heavy bolters, and like
and you want those going into a Silent King with a 2-up save, not like the raise of the 3-up. You know, like there's little things like that where you're just loving that efficiency break.
Yep.
Not to mention, you know, if it comes back with 1 wound, you have the Technomancer nearby. It can help boost that last one up too. You know, so Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I think he's really good because he acts kind of like another beef unit. Like I found myself in like almost all of my games where like turns 1 and 2, the king was kind of like pops out, tries to like snipe something with menhirs and pick something off with his shooting, but mostly just giving out the rerolls to Doomsday Arcs. And then on turn like turn 3 and turn 4, or if like bottom of 2 or whatever, he'd just start running across the board. He'd just go do whatever he does, and it's like, here, you deal with this. He's on your side of the board now.
Yeah, and then I hope he explodes in your opponent's face.
Yeah, and you do deal with it. Then my 2 DDAs are now still hitting on 2s, even if they have to move or they have dev wounds. And now it's like, do you want to kill the king or do you want to kill these? I'm fine with either. So,
and he slaps decent in close combat. Like
his close combat it will surprise everyone. Yeah,
especially with the meta that we're in too. I feel like there's so many more like T7, T6 like elite type units, and he's really good into those. So except for the minus 1 damage hits him pretty hard.
Minus 1 damage kills him,
but he could in theory also ignore it. So it's like it depends on what you need for that turn. But
yeah. Which is good to complement, like if you're struggling with minus 1 damage and you have Scorpix anyway, you might be ignoring anyway.
Speaking to the Scorpic Lords, especially in Awakened, I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I still think the 4-up Villain Pain Scorpic Lord is still worth it. I don't know. I mean, the other Scorpic Lords that's where like I think it's going to be very debatable now. Because again, 2 Scorpic Lords or a 3rd DDA starts to become a question.
Or 2 Scorpic Lords versus Azaris, because Azaris is only 5 points more. Or wait, no, he's actually 15 points less now.
Yeah, he's 15 points less now.
Yeah, so it's like I think that's a very real.
Yeah, I mean that's another very interesting because I mean his durability versus 2 Scorpic Lords is not even close. Now obviously the Scorpic Lords do more damage with impact mortals, but his durability is so much more.
If he's hitting on 2s too, he's a different guy. Like
he is a lot more efficient in that regard.
He only rolls 2s to hit, so
he
hits on them. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, it's and especially with like playing them in like a Wraith Awaken list, like you can just be super aggro with them, which is the best. That's the best way to play Luminor is like be super aggro with them because you want your opponent trying to waste their time. So.
Or the what I always like doing with him too is like on turn 1, if he could just go to like my primary expansion and just be like, you can't interact with this, like. Or if you want to, you're gonna have to come all the way over here to deal with me, and then I'm gonna charge you with Scorebacks. So
it's a very good combo. I mean, that's like what I was working with, like the 3 DDAs, and then you because running a Luminor, then it gives you the flexibility to run the race towards the center, which is kind of what you want to do anyway, because that's where all the good firing lanes are. And then you just plop Mr. Scorpec King and Xeris on your natural, and you're like, what do you want to do?
What do you want?
Because you have enough output to kill one, but you can't kill both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I still want to try the Star Shatter list with the 3 Doomstalkers, 3 DDAs, and Silent King. I still think that sounds.
Well, you could fit 3. You could fit 3 of the walkers in there now too.
I've
just 3 Doomstalkers.
Stalkers.
I wonder if you could get triple Doomstalker, triple DDA, Silent King, and a Wraith unit in there. I don't know. It's probably.
I think you can.
When did they Legends the Night Shroud?
That was a little while back.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I know. I missed it. I have one of the legit models for it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think with the changes to fixed, I personally am scared to open it up because it's really easy for your opponent to just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna take challenger cards and score those every single turn, and then try and score all my fixed on turn 4 and turn 5, which is very doable against like Awakened, because usually you just you've got the
the challenger cards, they do count towards secondary.
They don't. They're their own column. They can just score as many as you get. So they it might be like a max in the secondary, but they don't I don't know. Like I remember they went in a whole different column.
No, yeah, they're in a whole. It's 12 points. It's like a separate category. So up to 12.
So they
points.
just fill in whatever you can't max more on, right?
Yep. So I mean, I don't know how much I want to rant about challenger cards, but
is there a way to score more than 100 points? I know I get that you have to be 6 points behind, but I don't know.
I don't
mean,
think. Yeah,
Like you said, if you can stack your secondaries in the bat in turn 5.
Yeah, I
Could
think
you
that you just can't score like more. Yeah, I think to a maximum of 100. It's like most mortal wound abilities. It's like to a max of 6. Like, except for raids.
I'm just curious if we might see, in case we see one of those where I'm like, how did that person score 103 points? Like, oh wait, he went fixed, like you said, fixed assassinate. He went down. He was staying max primary, but he went down in points because he wasn't scoring secondaries, and then he scored all 40 points of his secondaries on turn 5, and then still had 3 turns of fix that he scored.
Yeah,
I'm saying there's a world where that exists, but I guess that's unlikely. But yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting time. I mean, like I was telling you guys last night, I mean, I'm gonna make an entirely separate video on this for those that are watching with these whole freaking challenger cards. But my personal opinion, I played a game yesterday and got to see it like in full force, and like everything kind of clicked for me. I feel like where just playing against the new Tau, I went first. That was the other thing. I hadn't played a game where I've gone first in like a hot minute, and I was like, okay, all right, here we go. So, typical play pattern: Star Shatter, putting race on the objectives, bringing the DDAs in, using them to like deny primary. So turn 2, I give him a 5. Turn 3, I give him a 5. Turn 4, I give him a 5, and then he scores a 15 at the end because still going second in this game, go figure, is good, right? So the whole stick I have with challenger cards right now, seeing how this unfolded, is one of the biggest advantages in this game of going first, or at least going first was your ability to stage up behind a wall and your ability as an army to then deny your opponent primary going into 2, 3, and 4. You had an easier time with that. And second does not have that luxury. But now with these challenger cards, I'm essentially sacrificing one unit, whatever that may be. In my case, is a DDA, could be Tomb Blades, whatever it is. I'm denying their 5 points only for them on the next battle round to basically guarantee, because I denied their primary, to get a challenger card, and I only net 2 victory points by sacrificing a unit to go do that. Yeah. I do not like it. I think it enforces, personally, like Turtle Hammer. And it's like, it's all,
that's my concern. Yeah.
It's not, I think GW, to their credit, I really do like the challenger cards. I think it's a really good idea. I think it either
needs to be bigger than 6.
It either needs to be greater than 6, or I think it's like one of those things where you can do it once per game. Because it's like, I think it's just too easy to, I feel like, game the system. It promotes sandbagging. Like,
I think you shouldn't be able to draw another one until your opponent has taken the lead. Like you can't continue to draw them and fish and fish and fish. That's a big problem. Plus the 0 CP is another just blanket problem. Like, you should have to spend some CP on these cards if you're going to use them. Advance and charge.
If they're as good as they are, yeah.
Yeah, advance and charge. You don't have to spend a CP. Like, I can already Star Shatter. You can Star Shatter your Silent King through a wall with 1 CP and advance and charge them with your secret. It's wild.
Or the one that adds the D6 to the movement, and it doesn't even count towards your like actual move.
Or the moving in the shooting phase one is like, you deep strike you move in the shooting phase, and then charge.
The challenger strats is like a whole different like conversation. I think really my sole frustration is the fact that like second was already slightly favored in this game, and with challengers, it's like definitely favored in this game.
The other thing is losing old school secret. Like, if I went first, I was playing for secret a lot of times because it gave me bottom of turn 5 scoring. Whereas if like that was a hold 3 objectives, and that was one that I went to a lot. Or Silent King taking my opponent's their home. So like, that was, if I went first with Hyper, like that was usually my game plan. My game plan was, that's probably going to go down in points. I'm going to take secret so I can score on, I don't have to try and score in the command phase on turn 5. I can get my movement, and then I can just make sure I'm holding 3 objectives, or I'm stealing their home. with Silent King, or killing the battle line and I get my warriors are still alive. Like that was a very important aspect to my game plan for when I go first. Because like you said, it's so, especially that turn 5, scoring at the very bottom, turn 5,
Yeah.
there's so much value there. So losing that is going to be very interesting for me as well. And that's something I'm probably not going to be able to really see until I can play test it enough. But I do think you're going to see, and you already kind of saw it at the high end tables, the whole kind of turtle hammer. Higher end players can kind of see how the game state's going to play out. They recognize who has to be the aggressor. And then so if you get both people that are trying to play passive, but like you said, I think it does lead into going second even harder now. So it means you're going to have to build lists that are able to aggro quickly. And so I think that's going to be, or win early, but it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how it breaks down, especially at the higher end tables. So like that's going to be fun to watch those develop.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do like this question from Patrick. He said if they ever rework Trazyn, what rules would you want him to have? I've already solved this. There needs to be. There's no. I'll take no notes. Trazyn's choice. He gets to pick one enhancement from any detachment in the game, and replace its keywords with Necron. Boom. No notes. That's it.
That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Any enhancement he can have, and basically he can just have it for free.
Yeah, that's his rule.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like it might be broken. It might have to be 200 points. I don't know.
Another one to make him relevant would also give him the fact that like he could also absorb the abilities of whatever character model he destroyed.
Dude.
If he took over the Overlord, he would get the free CP or something like that.
Right, yeah. And or if he took over the Warden, they would get the fallback shoot and charge. Like if he took whatever he took over, he would get this.
You have a Trazyn that takes over like an Overlord and like an Orkan, so he has like giving out invulns. He's -1 damage, and he's about to go fucking Super Saiyan. Like,
what if he took over Orkan while Orkan was Super Saiyan? He gets to keep it for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he just gets to keep it because it just happens. I don't know.
Hear me out. Like hear me out. It'd be such a hard probably thing to pull off properly, but it would be badass.
Speaking of Super Saiyan, Chowzilla had a question actually about any thoughts of running Orkan as an assassin. His Super Slayer mode should take out most characters pretty well, especially in Canoptek where he dies after and you can strat.
So here's I've talked about it. I've really thought hard on him with the Immortal unit. So it's a 150 point unit, and he goes Super Saiyan. And basically, especially in Canoptek, he's rerolling hits, he's rerolling wounds, and he's strength 12. It's your odds are.
Yes.
I mean,
you know, it would be an awesome play pattern if you went back to double Monolith, because you've run one usually in Deep Strike, is you ingress it in, so then you can legally use the out of stratagem on the next turn, and you just bring out that unit with the Immortal Plasma Orkan come out.
You know what? Maybe I double down. Hey, hear me out. I double down and throw the Overlord in there too, so that it's cheaper to pull off. It's only 1 CP now, and he's still rerolling everything too. So I have Orkan that goes Super Saiyan and his strength 12 attacks that are all rerolling wounds, because I'm gonna do it on an objective somewhere, and it's just like, well, I mean,
the Overlord could take the reroll hits, right? Or is that only in shooting? So then you can still reroll your hits too.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to reroll. I wouldn't be able to reroll hits, but I would have Silent King
reroll ones.
Silent King rerolling ones if that's near.
I mean, that unit could pick up like a Dreadnought.
Easily, I think, yeah.
I did
you probably get 8 mortals from Orkan.
I mean,
are we talking
honestly,
about Canoptek Court?
If you're with a Luminor rerolling wounds,
you can give devastating wounds.
Yeah, there's a real chance you get 5d3 through. Like, there's a good chance you only drop 1. Like, it's between 4 and 5. Yeah, so let's say between 8 and 10 mortal wounds from him, and if you get 1 or 2 through from Orkan. But you also have to think too, right? The Immortals, they've got 2 shots each. They also have 2 attacks each. So the 5 Immortals are still getting you 20 small arm attacks too. But if you're near Luminor, that's also AP1. They're all hitting and wounding, rerolling wounds as well. So it starts just to you're it's just a small unit, but it's all of a sudden it's here's 20 small arm fire attacks and here's 5 D3 mortals for 150 points.
Yeah, I know. Like I've
pretty
had
good.
him, like even not with the Immortals, just like someone dropped like the Fade Thirster or whatever to try and
Yeah.
go get my warrior brick, and he
Yeah.
like ran around the backside, and like he charged my Doomsday Arc, and then my Doomsday Arc just rolled all its invulns, and I was like,
Yeah.
that sucks for you. And then I know Orkan and the Overlord just walked over there and just shake that Bloodthirster, man. He just died. I was like, you're in the wrong neighborhood, pal. And they're just like walk, stab. Like, yeah, I rolled like 2 dev wounds on the shakes too. Like, so because the little
Man.
knife, the little Overlord knife.
And like
and I was like,
I don't know
ow.
who asked the question, but yeah, also for precision purposes, there's no standard, like there's no like super character, like your average 6 to 7 wound character, they all die from Orkan. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing really that's generally going to survive that, like especially in the immortal combat combo where you're actually ruling wounds too. Like
Scorplord will, but
what's that?
the Scorplord will.
Yeah,
He's
some
not a
of the
normal
characters-
person though.
He's not a normal character. I mean, but you know, but like you just kind of your average characters that are there. I don't know. It's interesting. I think there's a play for it, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I go ahead and take that to the RTT tomorrow and play around with it a little bit.
All right,
It's
here's
good OC. It's a little bit durable, and like it's like not expensive. It's 150 points.
150 points, like, and you can just, especially if you're playing with rates too, like you can defend them from getting charged first, and they could get to a mid-board safe position that can counter a mid-board objective. Like once someone finally commits to putting something durable or into your race of like value, like they could just be a nice little counter punch into that. I mean, you know.
all right.
And imagine like things like Wardens having to like pop their 4 Philippine for that little unit. Like that's gonna be annoying. Like this 150 point unit, like you should probably do this. If you don't, you're gonna lose like half your.
You're gonna lose this shit.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a good question. It might be unanimous for all of us. Let's just go round robin. We'll start with Steven at the top here. So post slate, post data this summer, what army, what detachment do you not want to see?
Me, Steven, or the other Steven?
Steven Ross.
Okay.
Steven Ross versus
Well, right now it's Death Guard. Like I feel like Death Guard just like didn't get touched. Like everyone else kind of got adjusted, and Death Guard was already a problem. But not like if we're going for like not low hanging fruit, I think it's still like, dude, I don't like playing against Guard, man. We struggle. Guard's hard. Like, so that would be my like pocket pick for not the easy one with Death Guard.
Guard's an interesting one. I mean, they took a little bit of a nerf. I think they're still going to be fine, but
they lost a few points. They lost like 40 or 50 points.
But I still think they're going to be just as annoying. Ulyss, what you got, man?
Yeah, Guard's I'm trying to tech my list a little bit to be a little bit more of a Guard counter. So because I'm like that matchup is just, I mean, they're just good, right? Like it's the fact that even in my hyper list, even when I can, like even if I kill 2 Dorns in a turn, which is it's not easy to do, but I've done it before. They still have enough slapback to really still punish me. So yeah, Guard's up there. I don't know why. This might just be like just feeling, but I don't know. Thousand Suns still keep me nervous, and especially they're looking pretty good right now with some of the new stuff. Just they have a lot of tech for good players, and so like if a good player is operating Thousand Suns, just some of the mobility shenanigans and some of the things that they can do, it still keeps me a little bit scared for Thousand Suns. So
the goats with the natural precision is like, I hate that so much. Like I hate those goats so much. Dude.
Any army that can
loan up, they've got an 18-inch loan up with a character. It's
with anything that can be deadly and hyper mobile is scary to me. Like that's my shtick. That's what I'm trying to do. So like if you can do that too, or maybe even do it better, that makes me concerned. So those would be my 2.
How's it going, Steven? Rotoman, what you thinking?
Rotoman.
So my 2 big ones that I'm gonna be a little bit more wary of are gonna be the new Tyranids one, with the Molochs and the Trigons. As a Canoptek Court player, the 6-inch, they can just find my Technomancers, and that's a big problem for me. I agree. Generally, Necrons do terribly into Guard, but as a Canoptek Court player, I found it to be relatively easier for me as the detachment
Yeah.
generally.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of a favorable.
Yeah, because you can just rush them on turn one.
Yeah.
You just go throw the wraiths into them on turn one and go, all right, parking lots on your side of the board, my turn.
Yeah, they
Like-
might be able to get through one wraith unit, but then you have the other one or two.
You're gonna take them a
in the
turn, at
face.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one for me is going to be Emperor's Children. The range precision is just wild to me.
Yeah.
Overwatch is nuts for me. I have to be extra careful again. I'm thinking just as far as my Technomancers are concerned in Canoptek Court. So just from a Canoptek Court standpoint, Emperor's Children with the precision literally everywhere is just a huge problem.
Makes sense. I would. I mean, I know unanimously it's going to be Death Guard for all of us, but
Yeah.
if we're picking an X factor here, I still just don't like CSM Bile, man. I just it's such a they didn't really even get touched, man.
Hey, you know what? A possessed can't kill.
Wraiths.
Doom Scythes.
Oh yeah, that too.
It's very true.
They don't kill wraiths either, man. Like they don't hurt wraiths.
You listen that list. It's like it's in such an interesting spot because it's like there are a lot of like melee matchups where they just don't like you just knock out the two like anti-tank pieces they have in the back if they don't, and then like literally even if one's gone, it's like well, you just so these are just flying around the rest of the game, and you're like, yep.
Yeah. My buddy, like his Thunderwolf Cavalry, he's like, I guess so. They just wave at him, you know, like, hey.
Like it's a very weird dynamic. But I feel like there are. It's weird because I feel like there are other matchups where the Doom Scythes aren't going to be as good, and you wish you had
I agree.
The Monolith,
Yeah,
you know?
it kind of brings me a little bit back to the Warrior list that, you know, the biggest thing I disliked about the Warrior list after getting a good amount of reps with it, or okay amount of reps with it, is that there's a lot of 80-20s. Like 80% of your game, you might feel like you have an 80% advantage, but man, that one game where you feel like you're the 20%, you know, that's I'm curious of the Doom Scythes because right now with the double Monolith build, I feel very much like 2/3 of my game, I feel like I have a 60-40 advantage, and then my other 1/3, I feel like I have the 40-60. But you can still close that gap. You know, you either get a little bit lucky in dice or you outplay your opponent by a little bit. You can still close that gap, and I feel like I've got a game into every matchup. I don't know if the Doom Scythes hurt that, where it becomes more 70-30, 30-70. Because like me personally, like I really dislike having games where I just feel like, oh, I just went into the wrong matchup and I auto lose. I like having that fighter's chance to every matchup.
Yep.
Agency, dude. I'm the same way. That's what I loved about the when I was messing around with the Psychomancers.
Yeah,
is like it just felt like you had a decision to make where you're like,
Psychos are 55 points too, right?
Oh yeah, let's throw them in the mix too.
So now it's going to be a Psychomancer, a Plasmancer, or a Locust Heavy Destroyer.
Yep.
Like that's going to be a 55 points. Like if you got that last 55 points, what do you do with it? It's going to be interesting.
I have thought about the Psychomancer. I definitely have. It has crossed my.
I think about him a lot.
Yeah. Just a dude.
Walter brought that onto us. Now he's just like he's you know what the Psychomancer is? It's the woman in the red dress.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong.
And he's such a cool model, dude. How cool he's such a cool model.
Yeah, he's a dope model. And there are a lot of layouts where actually you can hide him and be on your home and still trigger battle shocks on the center objective. It's actually hilarious.
The fact that he doesn't need line of sight. If he ever requires line of sight, he becomes
he doesn't become as good. Yeah.
But without needing line of sight, it's fascinating.
Flock was asking about Blood Angels. I think I mean Blood Angels with the points going down I think are fine, but like I honestly, at least like with the list I'm running right now, I feel pretty good into it. I feel like
the only thing with Blood Angels is they are a decent counter into Wraith lists, and the reason why I say that is because Sanguinor exists.
Yeah. That's what went wrong against my game against Jack. Is there was the turn where he even told me to like he's like if you charge me I can bring the Sanguinor down. I was like I'm just gonna roll my 4-up Feel No Pains. I'm gonna make them. I didn't make them and then immediately lost the entire Wraith Brick to like 3 it was like 3 Sanguinary Guard, just killed the whole unit because I made like 2 out of 13 4-ups and the whole thing just died. But Sanguinor is a problem. They're fast enough.
He precisioned out the Technomancer?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I even tried to before, and it just like wasn't possible because I rolled like a 1 on my advance for my Scorpex to like make a base like around where he like Sanguinor could have come in to still have vision of my Technomancer, and I just couldn't make it happen. And I was like, it was to the wound that he killed the Technomancer. So those reroll ones really came in handy for because I was like I've taken this swing before. I know what it does. And I was like, I know it's tight, but I
it's
was
like
like,
a
I need to make
50-50,
this
yeah.
play. Yeah. I was like, I need to make this play, and if I sit back too long, then I'm like basically giving him value for his units that he shouldn't be getting value from.
Right.
Did Scorplord do mortals on the charge again?
Yeah.
He's still he's
it's
awesome.
impact. Yeah.
So in a perfect world, you get him you bait the Sanguinor out, you charge with the Scorplord, you charge with the Scarabs, and blow up before he gets fights first.
No, it's not the fight's first problem. It's Sanguinor. When you charge, he gets to instantly come into combat with you.
Right, and he gets fights first. That's the problem. So if you charge him if he comes in after you charge and say he charges your Wraithbrick and you've positioned your Technomancer in a position that's close to your Scorplord, you can charge the Scorplord mortal, charge the Scarab, mortals on the blow, pray to God.
I think he has 6 wounds though, right?
Like 6 or
Doesn't
8.
he have 6?
Maybe?
Yeah, so you can pray to God. That's your only play against that.
He comes into the charge phase, right?
Dude, he has 7 wounds. It's not happening.
No, yeah,
I'm not. You have to roll a 6 on the Scorplord.
And he has a 4
and the
too,
Silent
right?
King, maybe the Silent King can tank shock him. Like that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Talking boys.
Okay, but honestly though, I think the Awaken build DDA plays really good in the Blood Angels though.
Oh wait, no, he comes back down at the end of the charge phase, so you can't do any of that. Never mind.
Does he come down at the end of the
charge? It's at the end of the charge phase. I just remembered that. He gets to decide where everything happens. Yeah.
Son of a...
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, but Awaken Blood Angels.
Awaken is better into Blood Angels, I would say, because getting rushed down is like rough for Star Shatter. But I don't know if it's as rough anymore because the game has changed so much. So it's kind of weird. Like you're in that like weird sort of spot where it's like you're getting rewarded for like giving away primary now, which before you had to kind of take those little like, or at least I felt like I needed to take more aggressive like plays. Whereas now
it's
I'm
just
getting
like
3 points, then it's like not as big a deal.
It's like not like that right now. It's so weird. It's like going first. It's like, the whole point is like to establish tempo. And now it's like, all right, well, I'm going to make sure I just lock in my 10s and just see how I can blow you up as fast as I can. And then make a strong push in turn 4 to limit your challenger cards because you have nothing left. And then hopefully get it. Like that's the first turn. As of right now, where the challenger card stands, I think that's kind of the tempo, more or less.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if you could hyper punish your opponent too. Like if your opponent's trying to play into the challenger, maybe you get them far enough behind that they don't have the comeback mechanic. But I mean, I've lost games in hyper where I literally only had maybe 200 or 300 points destroyed, and I tabled my opponent. But unfortunately, they got far enough ahead that I couldn't close the gap. Like that's a possibility as well. I mean, maybe like you might get players that go too hard into trying to play for the challenger cards.
You also might like at the end of the game be like, I only have 3 units left, and then I just drew like recover assets and scored 6, so you get screwed. I still score enough points, like you can't come back, challenger man.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things like, I mean, you're still, I think, at least for me, like obviously I'm still going to just score my points. Like I think I'm just going to take him, especially if I'm going first. I just... The biggest thing is that there's no reason to overextend really to deny primary. It's like
100%,
I think that's just like the biggest
like you
thing
said,
right
you trading a unit for 5 points has value. Trading a unit for 2 points, it's not the same value.
Nope.
You have to be so precautious on your first turn of what you actually can score. Oh, I got to extend battle lines and recover assets. I could score 7 right now if I wanted to, real easy.
Question. Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And then at the end of the turn, the player can be like, okay, so you're up 7. I'm going to stage this entire turn and kill what I can, and not score any secondary missions. So you just go up your 7 points, and I'm going to count on that clapback turn. And Star Shatter and Hypercrypt both benefit heavily from going down the first turn or two. So they're the standout for me for the Necrons until they change the challenger cards.
I think it might really potentially add some value into the 6-man Scarabs for early turn scoring, because like I already found it happen quite often with the 3-man Scarabs. Like I'd always have one that's in hiding and the other two that are stretching out to touch the objectives with like an Illuminor nearby to give them the OC.
Yeah,
and the amount of times that one Scarab still survives was actually, it always cracked me up, because I mean I felt like it was like half the time that one Scarab would survive.
Oh yeah, Scarabs are 80 points now, so they can be my new Scorpec Lord.
I mean, yeah, right. But they
24
could also,
wins.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about it, right, you only have to expose 2 or 3 of them, and then you have 2 or 3 of them that are hiding behind, a piece of terrain. Like that's going to be an annoying thing for someone to deal with without having to trade a unit. Like that's something like you said. Like maybe you don't have to trade a unit there. Like now, granted, I mean, if you lose 3 Scarabs, you get only 1 back, but it still becomes another action monkey on turn 2. So like you could potentially have 3 turns of actions out of that one unit. If we're playing a very calculated trade game, 6-man Scarab near like an Illuminor might be a really interesting addition to a lot of this.
Also, the spider in Star Shatter is really good. Just having that Philippine is great. So you like, I'm just looking at it like you could be the first person ever to use the data sheet rule of the spider, if you take a 6-man Scarab unit. Because I do not know if it's been used the entire edition.
I don't know if it has either.
Dude,
The whole GT, I won a GT with the Spider and 18 Scarabs. He took 2 of them.
Oh, really?
And
Spiders.
how can the spider heal Scarabs, but he can't give them OC? Like, come on, man. Like, just
Funny
Okay.
part.
Yeah, everything, every unit near a Scarab should give it 1 OC.
I might have to do that for.
How do we live in a world where Wraiths can
Up
go
to,
through
like,
walls,
12
but Scarabs have to go
Steven,
around?
people already hate Scarabs enough in this 40k universe.
Oh,
like
Scarabs,
everyone.
Scarabs in 9th edition were so much worse. I had a unit of Scarabs locked down an Angeron for 4 turns, and we did the math, and we realized I only rolled 1 extra 5-up than I needed to make that happen. And my opponent was just like, that was back when Angeron had 39 attacks, and like we realized the math on that was like, oh, you didn't spike.
Crazy.
It just you rolled 1 extra 5-up more than you should have. But then
And they used to do like mortals instead of like their lethals were mortals, right? Because I remember I played against Custodes with I had 27 Scarabs.
Yeah.
And like one of his 6-man bike bricks charged in and didn't kill the Scarabs and then lost 2 bikes. I was like,
Dude.
sorry.
Man.
Well, you used to be able to give them a 5-up invul, and then because of how the reanimation worked, it basically worked like a 5-up Philip pain on top of it.
Yep.
So it's just it was really weird. Yeah.
I have a question for all of you boys. What's it gonna take to get you boys into Annihilation Legion? Everyone sees that's just the abhorrent one.
You know all those new detachments coming out, Steven? Well, when they rework ours in September, Annihilation Legion.
Just make the blood surges work. If the blood surges worked, I think that detachment is playable.
Give me a 20-man unit flayed ones again in battle line.
That too.
And I want a flayed one character.
Flayed one character. An Annihilation, a flayed one character, a character, let's just say even if it's an Overlord, but it gets to join in Annihilation and it has a special enhancement,
not a lot. Yeah, an Overlord or a Scorpec Lord. Just let the Scorpec Lord join him.
Let flayed ones get their ability if they're just below starting strength instead of half strength. Oh my god.
Oh.
In Annihilation Legion specifically.
In Annihilation Legion specifically, all of a sudden you just become the flayed one detachment for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't even know what that detachment does. It's +1 to its charges or something.
I mean,
reroll charges for destroyer cult units and +1 to the AP if your locust units are targeting the closest eligible target.
So 18 locust destroyers are actually interesting in that detachment, but
moving 18 locust destroyers. So.
They almost need they need a more.
The
natural,
template's too large.
Yeah.
They need a deep strike basically, which that's why I've actually ran that unit in hyper because you can give the deep strike enhancement. They're pretty good in hyper. There's a world where if I drop the warriors, I might actually add that unit in there because it averages with the Arisen Tyrant. It averages 10 lethals at AP. It's only AP 2. That's the only part that kind of sucks about it. But it's still that's 10 lethals at 2 damage. It's equivalent to the 20 lethals from the warriors almost.
And you only have to roll 18 dice. instead of 40, which is cool.
Yeah, right. It's just good and bad. It's just it's interesting. Like I said, I've played around with it. It's super fascinating, especially because they can kind of get the rerolls naturally. If you're the only problem with it is the fact that they're not infantry, so you can't pull them through the monolith to get them out of combat. Like that's like somebody touches them with one scarab and they don't kill the scarab and they just stuck in combat. That was the downside I found, is that they need to be close to do the damage they want to do, and then if they get touched by anything, they're just stuck there. So yeah. So if they had a way of falling back and shooting more reliably, I don't know if the destroyers have a way to fall back and shoot though. Like you can't like attach a royal or nothing, or
you can in Shatter. You can use the enhancement in Shatter to do it.
All right, boys, real quick, raise your hand if you have 3 Tesseract Vaults. Damn it! All right, how about Obelisk, Euless? 3?
No, I mean I could
Right.
I could try and convert it, but no.
3 vaults.
Wait, hold on.
I have three
Yeah.
vaults.
No, so
I've
all
actually
right,
ran
personal
3
challenge
vaults
then.
before too. Yeah.
Personal challenge. First one of you guys to win an RTT with Annihilation Legion 3-0. All right, you got to win the RTT. I'm sending you a vault.
All right.
I'll send you a vault.
Okay.
Wow.
You got to
I
win.
mean,
an
I'll do it for a
RTT.
vault.
Yeah, right.
I'll try for a
Do it for a
vault.
vault. Let's
Like
go.
tomorrow, let's go.
Do it for the
Oh,
vault.
it's such a do it for the vault.
Do it for the vault.
And then I run into Death Guard round 3. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, no.
So,
Well,
You know,
best
my,
try ever.
so
my
this is how
Facebook
this
buddy,
works.
He's already like, I'm bringing a weird list tomorrow. I'm like, oh, what? Like, because we're allowing him to play with new Space Wolves, and
Oh,
so
okay,
we're just
okay.
like, which our thought process is it can't be any worse than his current list. The guy hasn't lost a game since November with his Space Wolves. It's
Wow.
Wait,
really-
didn't he lose in the finals at like
No,
BAO?
he went undefeated at BAO. He went undefeated at the.
Oh, he wasn't the guy
Yo,
that was on
do me a
team?
favor and send me that list because I got like
Yeah,
5 new
he
Space Wolf
didn't.
players in my place.
He didn't win the event because there was multiple. There's like 3 undefeateds, but
Wow.
yeah, no, he won all his games.
That's crazy.
He's just really good at that list. That list is really dialed in for how he plays it, and he does weird stuff even when everything's dead. So I don't know. I know. I table him on turn 3 or 4 like all the time, and it doesn't matter because like he's like, oh, I still win by like 3 points. I'm like, yeah, okay, yep.
Okay.
Somebody's playing
Now
the
you
new
can
NID
challenge
detachment tomorrow.
What's that? Yeah,
The
the good chance I'll
subterraneans.
be playing. My buddy's bringing it tomorrow, and he's a really good NID player too. So he's a very like typical like 5-1 kind of NID player. So like I'll be interested to see if I'll probably get to play him or the Space Wolves. That's
Have you
usually-
seen his list or like what he's running or what he like?
No
thinks?
idea. So I'll find out tomorrow.
No
It'll be
idea.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I haven't really done a lot of research into it. I've heard it's good. I heard it's
Dude,
got a
it
lot
just
of,
looks so cool. Like I don't even know if it's
yeah.
good or not, but like the rules just seem so fun. Like
Yeah,
they basically have a 1 CP Eternity Gate, basically. Like it's like crazy,
That's pretty good. I've used the heck
It's
out of
pretty
Eternity
strong.
Gate. Yeah.
and they can like I think they can rapid ingress up to 3 units in one phase, I believe.
I thought it was
Wild.
2. Is it 2 or is it? There's a way to get a third.
There's, I think it's
Like
with the
enhancement, maybe?
Raveners. The Raveners is 1. You can you can strat for 1 and then bring 1 down for 1. I think. Yeah.
Wow.
And then can you
That's-
also like
I-
rapid like lictors? Because don't lictors do that too?
I
think
don't think
Lictors are
lictors have
burrows.
that ability. It's you can rapid ingress for 1. The Raveners can do it for free, and then you can strat, I believe, 1 as well.
See, that's terrifying.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild.
It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Dude,
Lictors,
the options are
rapid
like
ingress
endless.
for-
Although I will say, and we were talking about like, the Doom Scythe might be an okay counter to that because it's like, cool. Where are you gonna come in where I can't see you at all? You know.
And
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
just
yeah.
like hide. You can just like hide in the back and just put all your warriors in front and be
Well,
like.
and then
"Ah,
also,
whatever."
like I said, my monolith puts a corner on like 3 different terrain pieces and just invalidates all 3 of those terrain pieces as well. So it's kind of like, all right, I can see a lot.
Yeah,
of stuff.
Nids die really fast to AP4. They die real fast.
Well,
to
they die really
AP4.
fast at volume of AP0 too, for the most
Yeah.
part. So like they're designed to die. It's just whether or not they can get. But see, they're another army though. I feel like they're designed to get ahead early, so they may get punished by some of the challenger stuff too, though.
Yeah, they don't. They run out of bodies fast.
Yeah, they're designed to win hard turn 1, 2, and 3, and then try to come as close to breaking even turn 4 and 5. Yeah.
Euless, I'm just trying to help you tomorrow. I'm just pulling up the Raveners. They have the burrow keyword on the updated
Yeah.
data sheet they released, so they will trigger it.
Is that the elite Raveners or whatever they're now called, or is that both?
The
Both
leader
Raveners.
unit that's also like a whole unit because you can then attach it to more Raveners.
So it's dude, once per battle round, you can target them with rapid ingress or heroic intervention for 0 CP, and could do so even if you've already targeted a different unit with that stratagem this turn.
Yeah, see, lictors have that too.
So
which
good,
lictors
dude.
have precision, so that sucks.
I think
and fight first.
I think that's one of the things I like about my hyperlist is that
I hate
precision doesn't really hurt my hyper. Like the warriors, with the plasmancer, it sucks when I lose the plasmancer, but they do their big damage on the turn they come down, and after that they become more scoring assets. I love it when I can get a second round of their damage, but I'm generally never relying on it. So it's kind of one of those things where if I lose the Plasmancer, but then after the Plasmancer, it's like, what are you going to do? Precision Silent King? I'm like, that's cool. Like,
you can't precision him. He's not leading.
I know, but like that's my thought. That's the only character I have left at that point. So
I have to make a point of that because
and if the Miniers are dead, then he is below half strength.
That happened to me once, and I'm still salty about it. My defense was flawed. Like my defense to the judge was, you can't precision the Silent King through his Miniers, but I don't know why. I just know you can't.
Yeah.
And that I guess wasn't good enough. Yeah.
So someone actually precision. They tried to precision Silent King through your Miniers.
They did. They did it with the Renegade Raiders thing.
Are you guys all going to Tacoma?
I'll be there.
I am.
I know the both of you guys are. I'm trying to see if it's end of July, right?
Middle of July.
July 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it a Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday? Or
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
8 rounds. Super major.
If you need a place to stay, you can just stay with me.
I got a buddy up there too that I know he let me crash. It's more of I'm in the same spot with you, Ross, as far as new job, taking time off, and then also my girl wants me to fly out to Norway for July 4th, so I'm trying to see what I can balance, but we'll see.
Dude, if not, we'll just come down to Cali, man.
Yeah.
We'll just post up at these RTTs, and just just have a grand old time.
Just drive down for an RTT. Let's go.
What's this huge influx
with Annihilation Legion list?
This RTT is 24 players. 8 of them are Necrons. What's going on? What is this?
And they're all Annihilation.
They're all Annihilation. So
we should just all take triple vaults.
Yeah.
And run it in Annihilation Legion for no reason.
Just run the raw stats in Annihilation Legion. Be I'm not using the strats. I don't know what they do.
I will say though, when I was running double vaults, the character sniping on double vaults is horrific.
Really good.
I played a Death Guard player and I killed 5 characters over 4 turns, and he's just like, what do I do against this? I'm like, I don't know. Just don't ever bring your characters anywhere outside but then he's like, but you're towering, so you just go touch that terrain over there and clip a little weird angle, and now you see me again. It's
yeah.
Or if you try to hide from them, their indirect gun is pretty good too. So, but yeah, I will say, even when I ran the triple vaults, the what is that, 3d6 plus 9 of the indirect strength 10 AP 3 damage gun.
I had a question about that. Your base doesn't have to be touching, right? It's just the hole on the TV.
Yeah, the hole on the it has to be hovering over the top of it. So
right.
So if it hovers over the top of it, you're touching the terrain piece now.
Yeah.
And the real cool tech piece is too is let's say your opponent throws a unit a little further deep into you. You touch the terrain piece and then you charge back into the unit so you can pull yourself back off the terrain piece. And you're just cool, I shot you and now you can't see me. And then you just, tank shock to kill the unit that you charged into. But it's there's some little, I don't know, the vaults are still cool. I think the vaults are, and one fits in a lot of different lists. If we ever go into heavy bodies in the meta, the vaults with the flamer and the Tesla gun just pick stuff up.
Yep.
But they're not good into heavy tank meta, which is why I haven't been running it lately. But we'll see. So.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think heavy tanks are still around too, because I think
they're
Ultra
still around. Yeah,
the same. I think they just drop either Gilliman or Marnius. I think they drop Gilliman, because he got he doesn't do the double, and you can't take him with Marnius. And I think the Marnius unit is just better.
Yeah, I mean, the Marnius just loses the CP gen, right? which I know
if
is a
you
big
take
part
them
of
together.
it.
So,
Yeah.
so you pretty much just don't take them together. You'll just drop Gilliman in now, and they'd run. You know, you could like take like another Vindicator and like some others, and probably an extra unit of Infiltrators, which seem like they might be useful right now.
That's the only thing that scares me about the Hyper is if there's enough stuff that encourages Infiltrators to come back, then like I can still play around 1 unit of Infiltrators, but it's when people start getting a value out of 2 units that becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
So.
Chuzo's asking, where do I find RTTs in California to bring my Crons? Best Coast Pairings, man, or BCP.
Yeah.
Go on there, event search, and just type in your location, and they'll pop up like all your tournaments within the next month.
If the person lives in Central Valley or Bay Area, I can give you some recommendations specifically, but they're all over, especially California.
Yeah.
Like whether Bay Area, Central California, or Southern California, North. I don't know too. Like I know there's a group of guys called RBBR that does North Cal and like Sacramento or North or even further like Red Bluff. They do some great events, but there's a lot of RTTs in California, and then there's a decent amount of GTs too. Like it's very easy for me to try and get to a GT a month when I want to. It just depends on my schedule.
There's a pretty small one in Tacoma in July. You should check out.
Very small, like 500.
That would be awesome if we can all get there. That would be amazing. But yeah, we should all run. We should like do a list lock episode and like all have the same exact list, and just like the way the Art of War did like a few years back at LVO, where they basically all took the same Iron Hands list.
Well, that's what I was joking with Steven. I'm like, we end up running the same list. It's just gonna be like, hey, I'm taking this because Steven told me to, and then his list is like, hey, I'm taking this because Kylan told me to, and then like, you know,
they're the same list.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts, boys, before we sign off here?
I would wear an only Crons hat if that's because I only Crons. You know what I mean? Like you see
we still got to do a separate video because you got like what is it 40K, right? 40K for 40K.
Yeah.
40,000 points, like actually insane. Like,
yeah,
do you own like 24 race?
I own well above that.
By the way, if you ever get to play a doubles matchup where your opponent where they actually allow you to like do more than 3 units, I did that one time where we ran 36 race.
So I can do a quick showing on here real quick. Let me just call you on my phone because I can't get my.
Oh yeah. Go for it. Yeah, let's see if it brings you on. You guys want to see this? This will be a good finale here. Jeez, man. Oh, I own way more than 24 race. Okay. Dude, like Armageddon games, man. You could just like fill the table with race.
Dude, like I said, I played a game with we did a doubles tournament with 36 race on the table. It's so much fun. Because they allowed it. They were like, screw it, like have fun, come up with our shenanigans. And that was back when the race had the 3-up invul.
Nice.
Oh,
I did with Noah, like because we weren't sure that we were gonna play in the doubles at LVO. And then it ended up being like we're like, okay, what can we make out of like a Green Tide list and a Star Shatter list? So it was like Silent King, the enhancement carrying Scorpic Lord, 2 Doomsday Arcs, and that was like my list. And then he's like, all right, and I've got like 60 boys. And we're like, is this the greatest list ever made? We're like, this is insane. Like
that's so gross. Yeah.
So and that was still when I was like, I hadn't like glued Bad King down or anything. So like he was just sitting in the box, so we stuck his boys on the throne, so we had the looted throne.
Yeah, love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Something I love about Orcs is I still think one of my favorite 40K experiences was back when we had the Onrock the Traveler, and he mind controlled a Morkanaut, and Morkanaut was being on 2s and just obliterated my opponent's entire army. It was hilarious. I did it for like 2 turns and basically tabled him with his own Morkanaut. It was hilarious.
That's like the orkiest thing to ever happen too.
It was the best. And the opponent was so cool about it. Like the opponent was like, this is amazing, like we're both just like, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened.
He's like, I'm not even mad. This is amazing. He's like, geez, the Morkanauts kill so many boys, dude. When they hit on 2s.
When he's hitting on 2s, it's insane.
Yeah.
Where is that other Steven at?
It got difficult. Technical difficulties.
Technology. We'll give him
I'm excited to play some new
moment.
stuff though. I mean, it's always And honestly, the chapter prove is very light. Like they didn't really, they didn't hit. I mean, so it's kind of nice that we don't really have to learn brand new armies and a whole new mission setup. Like it's kind of a adjustment light. The challenger cards are probably the biggest adjustment that we are actually getting.
Oh, that's yeah, but it is a huge adjustment.
It is a big change. Don't get me wrong, but I like it that we don't have a massive chapter proof changes where like. All the
changes and like Lord changes.
Yeah,
it's here's one new thing and adjust to that, and then but I feel like GW's done a really good job at balancing like the armies for the most part. So
I tried.
All right, what do we got?
I tried my best. My phone's not working.
No.
We'll have to do a separate video one day and just like do like maybe our next list lock video. You'll have to have it prepped or something.
Bring it on, yeah. We're meaning to do that. We'll definitely. We've been testing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, so we're getting we're getting closer here. But for the 4 of you that are still in here, seriously appreciate you watching, appreciate hanging out, talking Crons. This is only Crons episode 7, and we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace, y'all. Have a good night. All right, good job, gents.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Sorry for the wait. I'm trying on my phone. It just doesn't work, and I'm preparing to